Welcome everyone to Center Stage, the show that spotlights the events that matter to you in your area. I'm your host, Juhi Desai. In today's episode, we'll be joining the National Federation of Indian American Associations at their annual convention in Washington, D.C. Let's join the NFIA and see what the convention was all about. As people gathered for the convention, we'll hear from NFIA President Mr. Lal Motwani.
Friends and distinguished guests, over the years, NFIA became the voice of 3.2 million Indo-Americans in the United States. This is one of the major organizations that address issues with the common goals and holds the congressional luncheon and briefing in the years. This year we are having today on 7th of this year. I am very delighted to welcome all of you to the 21st Annual Congressional Luncheon and White House briefing in Washington. As the President of the National Federation of Indian American Associations, NFIA, I am delighted to welcome you to Washington, D.C. It is the first time we are having more than 40 delegates from India, and they are coming not from one state, they are coming from 6-7 states of India. Last year, first time we started a women's conference and seminars, which we are having this year also.
Congressmen and women from California, Maryland, and New Jersey, as well as local and NFIA leaders, spoke at the convention. We'll then hear more from them as Kanika Chadha speaks to them one-on-one.
Tell me about how you would describe the Indian diaspora here and why you decided to align yourself with the NFIA.
Well, the Indian diaspora has contributed greatly to our country here in the United States. The dynamism of the Indian community here in the United States has been great for our economy, for our culture, and for our politics. And it's an opportunity to come together and share ideas and goals, and also point out the fact that obviously the community here in the United States can help strengthen relations between the United States and India. We share common goals, common values, and common interests, and so the community here in the United States can be a very important bridge in pursuit of those mutual interests.
I'm now with Ambassador Arun Kumar Singh. I'd like to ask you, what role has the Indian diaspora here in the U.S. played in Indo-U.S. relations as a whole?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think everyone has recognized that the Indian diaspora in the U.S. has played a very important role in the strengthening of the relationship. Most estimates say that today the number is about 3 million, and there is a recognition of the very important contribution they have made in the U.S. There are a large number of Indian doctors. In the hotel industry here, Indian Americans are now playing a major role, contributing to the hospitality sector. Also in the technology industry, there is a recognition that Indian entrepreneurs, Indian origin entrepreneurs have contributed a lot to technology development. And now increasingly we find that they're in different areas. They're working in law firms, they're in the administration, they're in elected offices. So there is a recognition by all, by the government of India, by the government of the US, that the Indian diaspora in the US is playing a very active role in creating a certain positive image about India and in contributing to the development of the relationship.
I'm with Congressman Judy Chu, who's joined us from California. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
So tell us about your history with the Indo-American community here and how long you've been a part of the NFIA affiliation.
Well, I've actually known your members for a long time. Like Rajanan is somebody that I've known probably for 3 decades because he was active in California. But of course, I didn't have a chance to really know the national group until I was elected to Congress. 3 years ago, I was elected to Congress, and the first thing I did was to join the Indian Caucus.
And what do you think of the Indian diaspora as a community? I mean, they're really making strides in technology, science, winning spelling bees. What do you think of the Indians as a whole here?
Well, Indian Americans should be very, very proud of themselves because they are a role model for Americans. In fact, I am constantly amazed by the innovations that they brought to America, as well as the success in the business world that they've had.
And what are some of the issues that you're tackling now as far as immigrant communities here in the U.S.?
Well, we want to stop this racial profiling at the airports and by some of law enforcement. It is very destructive, and it makes innocent Americans very uneasy about their civil rights. So we are taking a very strong stand on that. And we also want to make sure that small businesses get the chance that they need. We know that there are a lot of obstacles out there, and we want to tear down those obstacles.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm with the youngest congresswoman in the U.S. Now tell us how you've been affiliated with the Indian community and how you're helping them with small businesses in particular.
You know what? They're really the heart and soul of some of our small business communities. They work so hard, and their work ethic, their personal responsibility is so important to our communities as a whole. We have double-digit unemployment in my neck of the woods. So when they're successful and small businesses grow, they've created 7 out of 10 new jobs in the last 20 years. So when they grow, our economy does better. So whether it's fair taxation, fair regulation, making sure that government isn't impeding their growth, that's been a big part of my focus.
Congressman Pallone, since you represent New Jersey, which is the biggest Indian population in the U.S., what has it been like interacting with the Indian community there?
It's been wonderful. I go to all the events, the dance events, the food, all the holidays, Republic Day, Independence Day. And then, of course, we work together, on Election Day to get out the vote as well. And we have a number of Indian Americans now in office, as they have been mayors or councilmen or assembly people, So there's, it's just the community continues to grow in importance.
And can you tell us a little bit about the visa issues that you're currently working on for the community?
The thing that worries me is I just have a lot of people now that seem to be denied, particularly if they want to come over for a short period of time. We've had religious leaders that wanted to come over to the local temples that have been denied. We've had many people that wanted to come for weddings. And a lot of them are people who, have money and have professions and clearly would go back to India. So I think it needs to be addressed in a large, you can deal with it one-on-one, but it needs to be addressed in a larger way.
Let's now hear what local board members and Indian delegates had to say.
Now I'm with Srimati Mamta Sharma. Srimati ji, can you tell us about how you're taking strides to empower the girl child in India?
देखिए इंडिया में जो मेन प्रॉब्लम है वो एम्पावरमेंट इसलिए नहीं हो पाता है गर्ल्स का, ख़ास तौर से रूरल एरियाज़ में, क्योंकि वहाँ एजुकेशन की कमी है बहुत ज़्यादा. एंड विदाउट एजुकेशन इफ़ यू टॉक टू अबाउट एम्पावरमेंट तो इट्स आई थिंक इम्पॉसिबल. सो हम बात कर रहे हैं ग्रोथ, डेवलपमेंट and education. Without education, we can't do anything about girls. So हम बहुत ज़्यादा अवेयरनेस के प्रोग्राम्स कर रहे हैं रूरल एरियाज़ में ज़्यादातर, ताकि गर्ल्स हमारी अवेयर हों कि हमारे लिए क्या क्या लॉज बने. लॉज बहुत बने, बट दे डोंट नो अबाउट दैट. तो उनको जब तक उनको अपने लॉज का पता नहीं होगा कि हमारे लिए क्या क्या लॉज बने हैं, तब तक कुछ नहीं होगा. जेंडर इक्वलिटी का लॉ बना था 1950 में, लेकिन आज भी जेंडर इक्वलिटी को हम वो नहीं कर पाए.
How long have you been involved in NFIA, and what do you hope to achieve in the future?
I have been involved in NFIA for at least 20 years. I have held women conferences for them in the past. I did for one on youth. This was done in California. And in addition to that, I have been writing for over 2 decades. And a lot of my work has been published in Los Angeles as well as in the English medium journals. So I have been, very actively working on it whenever time permits, besides my full-time job. And I look forward to doing this and pursuing it as long as I can pursue it, and hopefully generate a lot of enthusiasm. Some new people will come out.
Hello, I'm Satish Korpe, President of Indian American Forum for Political Education, Virginia. I'm here at the Rayburn Office Building 336B, and we really had a good turnout here for NFI reception. And I think this was a much better program than last year. Well organized, there was a lot of civility, and congressmen did come and people did listen to their remarks.
दुनिया को बदलाने तेरे लाल चले हैं माए अब तेरे लाज बचाने मर के कैसे जीते हैं इस दुनिया को बदलाने तेरे लाल चले हैं माए अब तेरे लाज बचाने आजादी का शोला बन के खून रगों में घोला मेरा रंग
It's time for a short break, but don't go far. We've got lots more of the NFIA convention in Washington, D.C. on the other side of the break.